What is up, guys, gals, and non-binary pals? My name is Naomi. Welcome to House of Miscellania. Today I'm coming at you with a weekly WIP and chat. WIP stands for work in progress, and I'm going to chat for about an hour. At the very end of the WIP and chat, I always read a tarot card as our thought for the week. So for right now, these are already shuffled. I'm going to put them aside because we don't need those right now. I will tell you about my tools. First, before I do that, let me welcome you to the channel. Hey, how's it going? My name's Naomi. I make a bunch of diamond painting content, including whip and chats, post reviews, unboxings, reviews, events, all kinds of things. In fact, there's an event going on right now. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. But let me tell you about my tools now. I am using a diamond painting pen from Diamond Pen Pal. This one is based on the work by Margaret Morales, which is Ajacai. Ajacai means hydrangea. And if you get an Ajacai pen, then yours will have hydrangeas on both sides. Mine is special because this was the twin to the winner last year for Mary Morales, the event that is going on right now. And it actually has the artwork inside of the pen of Ajacai. She is beautiful. I love her. I just love looking at her. Just wonderful. In my multi-placer, I will be using Pastel Rainbow ... Putty from Butterfly Effectwares. Both of these are sponsors of Mary Morales, and if you're looking for links for these places, you can check out links in the description. There is a sponsors link. If you just go ahead and click on that, you will see both of those there, as well as Firefly. This tray from Firefly is from last year's Mary Morales. Look at this beautiful fishy top based on some Margaret works that have fish in them. It has Mary Morales 24 on the side here, but I don't know if we're doing a Firefly tray this year or not. I know that they're going to be sponsoring regardless, but this one is the Switch Mini Max. It has a removable lid, which I remove, a removable trash tray, which again I take out, and then an open and close pour spout. Love it. There's a hole in the top here, so if you want to put your diamond painting pen in it, it won't roll away on you. Pretty handy. And then in my single placer, not a sponsor, I will be using Ghost from Diamond Painting Daily over on Etsy. You can get your Ghost, I think she's out of stock right now, but she's supposed to be restocking, so keep an eye out for that. But it works like a glue dot. It is a liquid that goes solid when it dries. It goes from white to clear, hence the name Ghost, and you can get yours. Now, I'm removing the top layer of my putty because I'm going to put new putty in there. So I take this little booger of putty and put it in the garbage. If you have never used putty before, and you're a wax person, it's worth giving putty a try. I switched over to putty when I realized that I was just constantly refilling my multi-placer and my single placer because I press very hard. And so I switched over to putty. Butterfly Effectwares especially is a dry putty, just meaning it's not quite as like gooey when you use it. This one, oh my gosh, it smells so good. It's like, this one in particular is like Fruit Loops cereal milk or something. It's so good. I'd eat it if I thought it would taste delicious, but I know that it will not taste delicious. So what you do is you take your multi-placer, you press it down. I go on the edge of the putty. I'm very meticulous that way so that I can kind of clean my edge back up. I make sure that everything that I put in there, I push in really well, kind of just get it in place. And then I flat push it down on the table on top of the piece of like wax paper that it's on. And then this edge, I sort of cut that off and then plop it up against the putty again so that, I do that on both sides, so that I don't waste any putty, so I don't throw that away. But now I've got some beautiful putty and it is flat against the top, as you can see. Love it. So what's new with you guys? Oh, tell you what diamond painting I'm working on, huh? So because Mary Morales is going on right now, I am working on a Morales piece. Mary Morales is an event celebrating the artwork of Margaret Morales, and this piece is Onahime. This is my December kit. I'll probably end up with a second December kit, but we'll see. But this one is a 55.8 by 70.7 in square. She's gorgeous. Margaret Morales is a watercolor artist, and she is fantastic. I've always loved watercolor, just the style of watercolor, but she really is able to bring so much to life in her watercolor, and so I am obsessed, I have to tell you. I always start with my ABs and specials on my squares first. Are you the same? Do you do that too? I have picked out a lot of specials for this kit, so I've been working them in as I go. Now, one trick for putty or wax even is if you're noticing that when you're working with ABs, they're sticking into your wax or your putty, if you wet this with like a paper towel or a sponge that's slightly damp, and then try and pick them up. Now, obviously, they're going to kind of fall off, so you gotta be real kind of liberal with how hard you push down on them so they stay in a little bit better. But if you wet it, it won't get stuck in there. If you don't have a sponge or a paper towel, a wetted paper towel handy, you actually can lick this. I know that sounds really gross, but I mean, it's clean putty. I just put it in here, and the only thing it's going to touch is the drill, so, and my mouth, I guess. I'm not going to do that this time. We're going to see how it works with just some fresh putty. I think it'll be okay, as long as I'm a little bit ginger with it. When you're a hard placer and you're working with ABs, you really got to learn to be just a little bit gentler with your ABs. They go onto the canvas so much better when you're not just like smashing them in there. So I'm being a little bit gentle with them. And then I shouldn't have to get my putty wet or lick the putty. But the thing that I do like about Butterfly Effect wares specifically is because it is a dry putty, it's not leaving a residue on top of my ABs or Aurora Borealis. That's the one that has the coating on top. I like that. I like that about it. So please tell me down in the comments, how has your week been? How have you been? Are you doing okay? Check in with me. Let me know that you're doing well, you're keeping sane. I know that, you know, the holidays are fast approaching, and that could be a really stressful time for people. So, you know, check in. Let me know you're doing good. Because I know life can be a little bit crazy this time of year. In fact, I decided, well, one, I'll catch you up on my week, but then I wanted to talk about something in particular that I think people kind of go through this time of year, and I'll get into that shortly. The week for me, you guys, we got dumped on for snow. It started over the weekend, and then like we got a foot of snow, and then we got another 5-6 inches of snow, and then today it's been raining and kind of snowing at the same time. The temperature is all over the place. Like it'll be kind of like 40 degrees, which is Fahrenheit, which is actually kind of warmish for this time of year. And then all of a sudden it'll be negative temperatures. It's like, ugh, tired of it. Shoveling snow, not my favorite thing. We had our first week of prizes on Saturday for Mary Morales, and you know me, I absolutely love to give away prizes. It's like my favorite thing about doing events is being able to introduce you guys to new sponsors, to get everybody like something when I can. The amount of participants this year is madness. It's crazy. I'm so happy because I expected it was going to get bigger. You know, if we kept doing it, it would get, well, I say we. I am running it as the host myself. I have some really wonderful helpers. that have been helping me keep track of like photo submissions, comment submissions on YouTube. And then I do all of the other like behind the scenes, you know, figuring out sponsors, figuring out the prizes, that sort of thing. But I still massively appreciate the help that I get from like my moderators on YouTube, the moderators of the event. Like, I honestly, I feel so incredibly lucky to have people to help me out. I wouldn't be able to have a second host. I don't think. I'm really I wouldn't say I'm not a team player, because that's not accurate to what I am, but what I'm really bad at is like giving up control. I have a control problem, and that's been evident kind of throughout my life. One, with like regards to substance use disorder, which I wouldn't say that I struggle with, because I've been sober, I'm staying sober, but like, it doesn't make it any easier to relinquish control, because I'm just such a freaking control freak. Like, I can't help myself. And you know what I find is that I can't seem to figure out if I'm burning myself out more because I won't ask for help, or if it burns me out more to have other people help, and then me getting stressed about whether or not they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. To be honest with you, like, I'm horrible in group, on group projects, because I'm like, forget about it. I just want to do it myself. Just let me do it. Just let me do it. Just let me do it. And so I'll gain my little group. Like, when I was in school, my group always got an A because I did all the work. But I always felt like, well, I just got them an easy A, you know, whatever. Because I just cannot let go of control. And so there we go. I have like static issues. So I'm running the event alone, and it's honestly a preference. Like, there's nothing against working with anybody else or anything like that. It's just simply like, I feel like this is my baby. It's, I'm putting in the behind the scenes really hard work. And so I feel like, it's mine. I don't want to share it. It's mine. And it's probably like the wrong way to be in life, but I can't help it. Are you a control freak too? Control freaks out there, talk to me. Are you a control freak? Because I am certainly a massive control freak. Like, I don't even get it. I don't get it. I think I was just born that way. I think that, like I said, the substance use disorder in my past causes a lot of control issues. And then add to that that I have autism, and then it's just sort of a recipe for, I wouldn't say disaster, because I don't think anything that I do necessarily is a disaster, but I can get really overwhelmed because I take on and I take on and I take on and I take on. And then I'm like, at the end, I'm just so wiped. I'm done. I'm like, forget it. I can't do more. I don't want to do more. And so it's like, I have nobody to blame but myself, So fellow control freaks out there, talk to me. Tell me what's up. Are you a control freak? I also have been kind of in my head planning a few things for my upstairs space when I finally have it. It's been kind of a long time coming for me to have this space to myself, but I need to wait for my oldest to come and move her things. But I've got like all of these plans brewing. I've got all of these things that I want to do with the space, that I want to accomplish in the space. Like, I'm trying to decide, like, maybe do I want to paint again? Because I once the room is mostly emptied out, I could paint if I wanted to. And it might not be like a full painting, but like a refresh on the paint that's up there, because it's been the same paint job. And I don't really want to go through and like wipe down the walls and all the things. Like if I could just paint over any smudges or whatever, that would be totally fine with me. I was thinking about, you know, putting up some fun lights or what have you for the channel, because my eventual plan is to get upstairs, have my little like work corner space where I would hang up diamond paintings behind me, and then eventually the goal would be that you would see my face, that I would do live streams on 2 screens, where it would be, one would be showing my face and me talking, and then the other screen would be showing you the diamond painting that I'm working on, so that you would see both things simultaneously. I don't want to promise it, because I want to make sure that I can actually like do that it's going to look right when I do that. And then 2, it's a lot of preparation too, because I have a hard enough time accepting myself, my face, my body, my being, when I'm out in public and I haven't put on any makeup or whatever. Like mostly now I don't so much care, but it's a completely different story when you're going online. Like I always try to make sure that when I do my live streams or my WIP and chats, that my hands are clean, because that's one thing that you do see. I used to, you know, have my nails done, but got to be really expensive. And I was like, you know what? My nails, like, while yes, they constantly are breaking, like all the way down to my nubs, like I'm chewing up my fingers or something, but I'm really not. They're just, I have really thin nails. I've always had really thin nails. And so I do try to, you know, at least not have my nails look disgusting. They're always clean. So there's that, but it's a lot harder to do. And I don't want to wear like press-ons. I don't know. I just feel like that looks cheap, I guess, for me. Other people look great. I feel like I look like a dollar store hoe. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. But anyway, I'm getting excited because I want to get going. I want to get up there. I want to move into the space and make it mine, because then also I don't have to worry about anybody being around when I want to record something. Like when I want to do my WIP and chats, I don't have to tell the kids, okay, you got to go upstairs, or, you know, sit out there, be quiet, don't talk, whatever. When I do my lives, I'm not going to be bothering anybody. If the dogs bark downstairs, it's not going to interrupt everything. I just keep the door closed or whatever. Like, yeah, you might still hear them, but it won't be like in the thick of things. It won't be in the middle of the dang house where, you know, I know, well, I honestly kind of don't care if the kids care. It's my house. I'm going to do what I want. But that being said, you know, I do have to kick people out of places or ask people to be quiet. And while it might be an inconvenience for them, and I don't so much care, I still care. You know, I'm not a dick. I'm just trying to, ooh, a crunch. I'm just trying to, you know, make my channel work out and do some good stuff. Oh, the channel working out, you guys, I hit 4,000 subscribers. I'm so excited about it. I am on the road to 5,000. I don't know when it'll happen. I'm sure it'll be, you know, obviously next year sometime, but I'm hoping to get there. Really, really hoping to get there. I'm going to keep trying to get 3 videos out a week. I think that that's been making a huge difference as far as viewing hours and subscribers. So I'm going to try to keep that up, you know. I've got to get going on editing some videos and getting them posted, but it gets so busy this time of year with Mary Morales, with like life in general, just gets stupid busy. So I chose a topic and I will talk about it. And this is, I think, a really good segue for doing too much. And that is honestly talking about tips for fighting burnout in life and in diamond painting, because I think that, you know, when you're burnt out in life, oftentimes you're too burnt out to diamond paint. Or if you're diamond painting and you're burnt out, then it could be that it's affecting your real life too, because if your hobby is burning you out, then you're probably, you know, doing too much or not enough or something. So I did want to talk a little bit about burnout. I personally, I've actually, knock wood, I've never felt the effects of diamond painting burnout. I guess that's not strictly true. I haven't faced burnout in the sense that like I would want to go weeks without diamond painting. I've gone a few days, you know, where it's like, you know, I just feel like playing Legend of Zelda instead of diamond painting. And that'll go on for a few days. Like I'll get hyper focused on, you know, playing the Legend of Zelda, which I beat again, Tears of the Kingdom, for the second time, on 100%, because you don't just half-ass it. You got to like 100% complete everything. So I did that again. And when I get into those modes where it's like, I just feel like it isn't so much like I don't feel like diamond painting. It's I feel like doing something else. And so I get a little bit of a break too. And I come back, it feels like kind of rejuvenated and ready to like slap out some diamond paintings, you know, like get a bunch accomplished. And I'm glad that I have those moments, because with regard to autism and control, I feel like I can get very hyper focused on something to the point that I don't want to do it so much that it's no longer the same. It's not bringing me the same joy that it did before. So I'm really glad that I don't have like that to battle with. But let's talk about burnout. I feel like tips, a lot of these are going to be obvious to you guys. Like you've probably heard them before, you've probably done them before, or you've thought them before. Sometimes though, it just helps to hear it from another human being, and reiterate what you already know, to go like, okay, yeah, I know, right? I feel like this time of year is really hard, because I know for me personally, I would love to be able to be getting more sunlight. It's horrible this time of year because the nights are so much longer with daylight savings. You know, it gets dark at like 4:30 p.m. I feel like it's dark all freaking day. I feel like we only get a few hours of light, and there's definitely not enough sunlight in those few hours that we get. And so I think that in a lot of ways, what can end up happening is you don't get enough vitamin D, you end up feeling really lethargic, and it's almost like burnout, but it's actually more like depression, actually. You're just not feeling any motivation to do anything. You are like, it seems like you're in bed most of the day when you can be. You're not feeling the oomph to do anything else. And on the opposite end of that, I think that people forget how productive that rest really can be. Like, okay, if I can be a little bit cheesy, you can't pour from an empty tray, right? Whether that's drills or energy, you have to let yourself rest, and without guilt. Rest isn't quitting, it's refueling. And I think sometimes when I take, like, there's occasions where after my lives, I'll go and hang out on voice chat, but then other than that, for a lot of time, I won't talk to anybody. It's like I'm recharging my social battery. And I don't feel like that's me being rude to anybody. That's literally me just recharging. And sometimes, you know, somebody might ask me like, hey, can you chat or whatever? And I'm like, no, I really can't. I'm severely busy. I'll make some shit up. You know what I mean? Because I need that time to just regroup. Nothing wrong with that. And when it comes to like life and recharging and refueling, the same is true for diamond painting. Like if you don't feel like picking up your pen, don't. If you force it, you're going to end up hating what's meant to be a really relaxing hobby. And I know that there are people, especially content creators out there, that feel like they have to. Well, I have to diamond paint. I have to get finishes. I have to do this. I have to do that. I have to put out content. I have to blah, blah, blah. I promise you, if you were to take a week off of Facebook, in fact, set it up so that you have things pre-recorded and whatever, and take a freaking week, man. You don't have to show progress. Is it going to be, you know, you're going to get in trouble if you do not show progress? No. So let yourself relax. Let yourself do what you need to do to get back into the mode. Okay, sorry, my kid came downstairs. Need to get some water. So yeah, if you're a content creator, nobody's counting how many drills you lay down every week. And if you need to take a week off, then take a week off. I mean, if your viewers don't understand, I mean, I can't imagine. There's so many people that are in this craft that have mental health issues as it is, that I think it would be ridiculous to think that anybody expected you to get a certain amount of drills down or whatever. I mean, yeah, there are certain obligations that we set up for ourselves as content creators, but by no means are we beholden to anybody to stick to them except ourselves. And you're not a failure if you don't meet those goals when you need a break. Like it's not the same. It's not the same thing. The other thing that I've found in life, especially, is that when you're facing burnout, sometimes breaking things up into micro tasks, I'm really bad about sometimes, like, I'll look at the whole issue and like think of it as insurmountable, and I don't realize that if I just make it smaller bits, that it doesn't have to be so overwhelming. So if you shrink your list down, it really helps. So like in life, instead of doing all of the dishes, wash the cups, then stop for a while, go back, wash the silverware or whatever, you know, like do it in bits. Or instead of clean the house, set a 3-minute timer or a 10-minute timer, go clean something, take a break. Go clean something, take a break. But, you know, if you work at something in small bursts, then it makes the task so much easier. Like if you're looking at a diamond painting and you're going, oh my God, there's so much here. Like this one is huge. It's a blah, blah, blah by blah, blah, blah. That might be massive for you. This is why we work in sections. If you just open up a diamond painting and you just start painting everything, it's going to get overwhelming very quickly. So working in sections, this is why we work in sections. That's why things are pre-perforated into sections for us, so that you can actually, you know, do a section at a time. You also get like when you do these smaller bits of tasks, you do it in such a way that you feel like you're accomplishing something. You get a sense of accomplishment for those smaller tasks that you're setting up for yourself. And that by itself can be really refreshing, because then you feel like I am being productive. even if you're only fooling yourself into believing that you're being productive, it is still kind of a jump start way to get yourself motivated and moving and doing something. To do it in smaller, amounts. Momentum comes from tiny wins, I think also sometimes people tend to get very rigid about a schedule. Now, there's obviously some things in life that you have to be rigid about your schedule, your work schedule, if you have certain obligations with regard to things you got to do with your kids or your grandkids, things that you do during your week. I think it's important to try as often as possible when you are feeling burnt out to create more of a rhythm rather than a schedule. So like burnout hates rigidity, and if you're building a gentle rhythm instead, you can get yourself into the mindset that there's not anything fixed and rigid. It does become overwhelming when you think like of all of the things that you have to do every day. It can make you more tired. It can make you just fight to even get out of bed because you're thinking about all of the things. And then you end up in worse shape than you were just doing the thing that you had to be scheduled to do. Like obviously, in the morning, start off by making sure you're hydrating. Hydration is really important, but have a slow start for a change. Don't push yourself to give, to be awake, move. Like give yourself some extra time in the morning. Have an extra cup of coffee, or if you're a smoker, give yourself enough time to enjoy another morning cigarette or whatever your morning routine is. Stretch it a little bit, take longer with it, but obviously giving yourself enough time to be able to relax and enjoy it. But make it take a little longer. Lunchtime or afternoon time, do one important task, break it up that way. Don't think that you're going to get everything done immediately. Just try to take it a little more slowly. In the evening, set down some unwind time. And it doesn't even have to be diamond painting that you set down as unwind time, especially if you're feeling burnt out from diamond painting. Like, rather than, setting down these time blocks where you're going to diamond paint, have a cozier painting moment. Like, light a candle, pick a playlist, or work during your favorite show, put on something that you like to listen to, and let it be a ritual and not an obligation. Just set yourself up into getting into the rhythm of things rather than throwing yourself in both feet into the cold water and expect that the cold water is going to wake your ass up and suddenly you're going to feel motivated to do things, because generally you won't. I would say also removing pressure from the hobby. I think there's already a lot of pressure as it pertains to weekly scheduled drops or the things that are going on in Facebook groups. And it doesn't even have to be like the VIP group or, small shop groups or whatever. I think sometimes the negativity that you put yourself around can wear you out before you've done anything for the day, because you're reading so much just trash talking, whining, bitching, complaining, judging, and it's everywhere. It's not just in diamond painting groups. I mean, just out there in the world. Generally, there are people bitching, complaining, and making everybody else miserable in the process. And diamond painting is not meant to be a productivity contest. Like, you don't fail because you didn't finish 12 canvases this year, or 50 canvases this year, or 15 canvases this year. Like, it doesn't matter. The only person who's counting your finishes is you. And I did have a lot of finishes last year, and this year I did force myself to slow down a little more, to take more breaks, to not push myself as hard. And so I'm not going to have as many finishes as last year, and that's totally fine. I am at peace with that. I'm going to have enough finishes. I'm not worried about it. And I am the only person I am air quote competing with, and I'm not in a competition with myself. So I'm just trying to make it less of a like, ooh, I got to get this done. Ooh, I got to get this done. I set myself up a little bit for failure at certain points because, you know, like I do feel like it's important to be a content creator, like a hiccup in my chest. A content creator who, when I receive canvases from companies, I try to finish them. I try to put drills down on the canvas because I think it's important that if they sent me something, I'm going to try to get them a post review. But that being said, I can't always jump right into getting a finish for their canvases. In fact, geez, most people who do unboxings or help out small shops with their diamond paintings, I would say half of those people do not finish canvases that they're sent. Maybe even 90%. I don't even know the percentage, but I am certain that there is a much smaller percentage of us who finish the canvases that we're sent than there are people who don't. Like, I think that there's probably more people who do not finish canvases from companies than there are who make it a point to do so. And so I think that I had kind of set myself up a little bit to fail in the burnout department because I was like, oh, so-and-so sent this to me. I got to get it done. I got to get this done. And then I realized yes, I love the canvases that I'm sent from companies. Like, don't get me wrong at all. I am so grateful for what they send, but it's not always what I would pick to work on at that moment. And so I think sometimes working on canvases that are not what I want to do, it's like what I'm supposed to do or what I need to do. And it's not even required of me. Nobody set me that task except me. And so I was starting to really wear myself out on working on canvases that I thought I was supposed to finish instead of working on the canvases that I felt like working on. And so I had to give a couple of canvases up as a loss for the time being because I was seriously starting to get angry at the canvases. I was resentful. I was like, I don't even like this anymore. Why do I I said such nice things about it when I unboxed it. It's not the canvas's fault. It's my fault for thinking that I needed to get it done. And so I'm going to be better about, I don't need to kit up a kit that a company sends me the minute it gets to my house. I don't have to do that unless I absolutely want to. And I'm going to be better, especially next year. I've set some intentions for myself that I'm going to be better about not doing that to myself because I did it quite a bit this year. It's the same as people who I feel like they participate in event after event after event after event and they burn themselves out and they can probably figure out why, but they don't want to blame it on these events that they're having a lot of fun doing. Because of course, events are a blast, but I think that you can really wear yourself thin in essentially having this set up plan for your canvases every single month or whatever. Some people live for that. Don't get me wrong. I know there's people out there that they live to do events. I am not one of those people. I like to have a plan. I like to have an idea of what I think I'm going to do, but I'm not going to stick to it rigidly. Nobody is in charge of that but me, you know? So anyways, as I was saying, like, you got to remove pressure from the hobby. If you need permission to slow down, here it is. You're allowed, okay? You are allowed. I would say also in life, adding some variety when your life is feeling a bit stale. Like if you're doing the same things over and over and over again, you need to throw something a little bit different. It's like for a while there, I realized I was walking the same, 2 to 4 blocks with my dog. I'm like, you know what? Let me make this more interesting for his brain and my brain. Let's go the other direction. And then, oh, let's go down these 2 blocks instead of these blocks. Let's mix it up a little bit, because I think that it was starting to get a little ho-hum for me. He wasn't enjoying his walks as much. I think he wasn't maybe as satisfied as he could have been if we were doing more than just the same routine over and over and over again. I think that, if you change your scenery, you can really change your mood sometimes. So like maybe move your desk, rearrange your space that you work in. If you're able to, like, shake it up a little bit, make it a little different, give yourself a different view, turn your desk a different direction, or, face out a window if you're not already facing out a window. Like, just give yourself a new space to think and exist and live in. In diamond painting, this could be something like working on, like, pulling out another WIP. Maybe you're usually a 1 canvas person, okay? A 1 WIP or work in progress person. There are lots of you out there that only work on 1 at a time. Maybe just try and pick up something small, a second small canvas, or if you are a many WIP person, 1, figure out do you have too many WIPs? Like, are you just serial starting and then not finishing canvases? Like, what's up with that? Figure that out, obviously. But if you already have a lot of WIPs, then pull one out from the stack that you haven't looked at in a while. Figure out what it is that, has left it at the bottom of your pile for so long. Were you just enjoying other things more? Whatever. But try maybe working on some miniatures. You've got Paint Gem, you've got Forever Young, you've got Diamond Design Company, Pretty Little Gem, Diamond Art Club's Mini Dazzles. Like, there are plenty of opportunities for you to just pull out something really small, just to, 1, get a finish, and 2, work on something different and small. That'll be a quick little pick-me-up, Yeah, like trying a snack size, or maybe like a special drills only kit, like maybe an all crystal canvas or something totally out of your normal realm. Instead of working on something really confetti heavy, try something color blocky. Or if it's too color blocky, work on something confetti heavy. Like, just try something different. Are you normally a portrait person? Work on a landscape. Are you normally a landscape person? Work on an animal. Are you an animal person? Work on a portrait. Just mix it up. Mix it up and do something a little small, a little different, a little interesting, a little exciting for you in some sort of way it's not just in your same sort of ho-hum routine. See how that works for you. Because I bet you that you'll find a little bit of fun in a little variety. Like, they say variety is the spice of life. And I think it's true. I really do. I think a little bit of novelty also wakes the brain back up a little bit. Also, when you're burnt out, sometimes we forget that we need to talk it out. We got to talk about it. If you bottle it up and internalize it, burnout grows in silence. And if you're isolating yourself, if you're feeling yourself isolate, there's probably something more that needs to be spoken on in that instance, because there's a reason that we isolate, you know what I mean? And sometimes, yeah, we think we're recharging our battery, but a lot of times too, it's because we don't think anybody wants to listen to our problems, or like that nobody will care, that nobody is interested, that, whatever. And that's just simply not true. Sometimes you really just need to give to somebody else, like ask permission, obviously, like, can I please vent to you? And, as long as you're not completely abusing the right to be able to vent to people by just being a trauma dumper, then obviously your friends, your people, they're going to be fine with you. Just, let it out, get it out of you. Or conversely, speak to a professional if you need to speak to a professional. Sometimes it's far beyond the level of those around you. And honestly, like sometimes those people, when they don't understand mental health and mental health issues, they can do more harm than good. So make sure that it's one, something that's appropriate to share with a person who's not a professional. And then two, if it does need to be spoken about with a professional, make sure that you're seeking out the right kind of help, because you can get the exactly wrong advice from somebody who means well. I'm not saying that those people don't absolutely mean well, but they do not have the education to be able to help you with your issues, especially if it's something that you need to be diagnosed or medicated for. Your friends are not going to be the appropriate people to armchair diagnose you with whatever the hell they think is wrong with you. You know what I mean? And then, venting to the Discord group. Like, we have a Discord and we have a venting channel. Now, I've told people, obviously, that there's certain things that are not considered vents, like something that is a serious, risk to you, your family, whatever. Like, if you are a risk to yourself or your family, those sorts of things, that's not venting. Venting is absolutely welcome, but like, if it's something you need to speak to a professional about, then obviously that's what you should do. But, get in touch with your normal little group of crafty friends or what have you. I talk to a lot of you about things when I've got things bothering me, things on my mind. Like, oftentimes I've found that I get some really great advice, or at the very least, if I don't want any advice and I'm just like, hey, can I just vent for a minute? Oftentimes people just listen and let you have your minute, Though I feel like sometimes my whip and chats are an opportunity for me to talk through my own stuff. So I don't feel like the need necessarily to throw all that into somebody else's lap, because they don't deserve that. I would say also, when it comes to burnout, and this goes for diamond painting too, notice your energy, not your output. What I mean by that is some days your energy is going to be low, physically, mentally, emotionally. Honor that, okay? Stop judging yourself by what you produce. So, if you feel like your energy is low, then take it easy on yourself. Now, I'm not out here giving you excuses to be Sally stick in the mud and do nothing and lay there and be completely depressed and whatever. I'm not telling you to do that, obviously. But you do need to rest sometimes. No one is a machine, except maybe a machine. And nobody expects you to be a machine. And if they do expect you to be a machine, you might be needing to surround yourself with other people. Because you're not. You are not. I am not. And we're human beings. We have a battery and a battery life. Might not be the traditional Duracell type of battery, but it is a battery. It's an emotional battery. It's a physical battery. It's the thing that keeps you going. And if you don't recharge it every now and again, you only suffer from that. So honor that. Measure your energy and not your output. And if you're forcing it, just like with diamond painting, if you're forcing it, step away. Your problems and your drills are going to be there tomorrow. They really will be. They say you go fast by going slow. It's true. People who panic, people who get themselves very worked up and in a whole tizzy, they tend to make more mistakes because they're so frazzled. If you slow down, if you move with intention, act with intention, speak with intention, then you're more likely to make less mistakes, fewer mistakes. So, you know, just ease it on back, ease it down, you know. It'll all be there tomorrow, I swear. Also, I found, like, to help me, I like to reduce the amount of shoulds that I say to myself in a day. Like, I should finish this, you know, like Burnout loves sentences that start with I should finish this canvas first. I should be more productive. I should be over this by now. I should be back to it. I should be feeling better. I should be this. I should be that. I should be more intuitive about my friends' needs, my husband's needs, my wife's needs, my kids' needs. Like, I should spend more time worrying about others instead of myself. You know, like, yeah, we indulge those things sometimes because we're feeling a certain type of way, but like those shoulds are killers, man. They really are. They just sap you of all of the good energy that you have. Challenge the should. Replace it with I choose or I want. If you're saying I should finish this canvas first or this square first, or I should go to the store, I choose to go to the store. I choose to work on this canvas. When you're audibly telling yourself you're making decisions, you're making choices, sometimes that helps a lot, a whole lot. Also, making your environment a little bit more chill, relax, cozy, you know? Soft lighting. I mean, obviously it's a little harder when you're diamond painting. You got to be able to see what you're doing. But generally in life, cozy those lights down a little bit. You don't need to have LEDs blasting you in the face all day and all night. Turn some lights down. Put, you know, the volume down on things. If you're blasting your music, lower the volume a little bit. Select a playlist that's just a little bit more chill, or like maybe you don't listen to sounds of rain. I don't know. Just bring it down a notch. Take it down. Get yourself a warm blanket and wrap yourself in a warm blanket. Or aromatherapy is really good too. I like incense sticks. I also like essential oils. And so some of the essential oils that are meant for relaxation, like lavender, being able to help yourself that way, like with aromatherapy, is really good. Watch a favorite show, something that's going to make you smile or laugh or get the feel goods. Like, I always feel good when I watch The Great British Baking Show. I've been watching a lot of that recently, although it's the holiday version. I've been watching a lot of Great British Baking Show, or shows that generally give me the feel goods, like Love on the Spectrum is another one that just the whole of it just gives me the feel goods, you know. Watch things that are cozy shows, things that are like a warm blanket but in a television show, or cartoons. I mean, watch something that's going to make you laugh or smile. It feels so good to laugh and to smile. And then reconnect with your why. Especially where it comes to, like, if you're burnt out diamond painting, ask yourself, why do you diamond paint? Is it stress relief or creativity? Are you doing it because you just love the way it looks or the quiet time that you get from it? Do you like the community aspect of it? Or is it because it's something that's yours? Burnout often means that you've kind of drifted away from your original reasons for why you're doing what you do. And that could be any craft, really, or hobby. I think that if you lose sight of the why you're doing it, I think it can burn you out really quickly. Revisit those reasons. and let them guide your pace again, you know? Maybe, you know, some of your burnout is like decision paralysis because your stash is too big, or you're panicking because your stash is too small, and you find yourself kind of frozen because you're worried about the canvases or things like that. You know, you gotta figure out what it is that's causing these worries for you. And then, you know, slow down before life forces you to. Honestly, I cannot say this enough. If you burn out, it sneaks up really quietly. It's very, very, very stealthy. And if you're feeling it, you don't have to wait until you crash. Like you can choose to slow down and be mindful of those feelings before you fully crash out. Take the nap that you want to take. Take the break that you need to take. Take the weekend. Take the slow day. Like, it's not weakness, it's maintenance. And I think that we forget that often, that we need to maintenance ourselves. And, you know, let your joy, just let your joy excite you. I think that burnout sometimes can exaggerate the bigger picture of things, and you need to practice mindfulness, I think. Like, stop and actually listen to the things that you love about diamond painting. I love that crunch of the drills, or the click of the drills, or the pop of the putty, or whatever. Just the sparkle of everything. The moment that you get done with a section, I love that feeling, and I like to sit in that feeling sometimes. It's like, yeah, look at that, I did that. Just the piece of doing a square, you know? Let the small things be enough sometimes. You don't need huge wins every time, because it's hard to get there. Let the small wins be big enough sometimes. It makes a huge difference. It really does. Whoop, having issues with that. Try that again. There we go. That all being said, you know, I hope that if you are dealing with burnout, either in real life or in diamond painting, like whatever it is that's causing you to feel burnt out, that some of this will help you. That at least one of those tips, which you probably already knew, but I told you again anyways, because, you know, repetition is memory. So I'm hoping that all of that helped at all, because I don't want to see you burnt out. I want to see you successful. Okay, let me go ahead and read our tarot card. From our winners this last week at the weekly giveaway, one of the prizes was actually a canvas to have somebody participate in the event. And as it turned out, that person was in Australia that won the canvas. I did end up paying for the shipping on that, because if you remember a few weeks back, my card said, you know, give more than you can afford to, and it'll come back to you. And I'm hoping that's the case. I really don't mind paying for it, you know, whatever. If it comes back to me, great. If it doesn't, it doesn't. If you would like to help out, you absolutely can do so. My PayPal information is houseofmiscellania@gmail.com. Even if you want to give like $5 to help kind of recuperate a little bit of that from sending to Australia from the United States, just to make sure somebody could, you know, participate in the event, because it was important to me that she get to do that. But yeah, if you want to help out, you absolutely can. Or if you want to send me an email, houseofmiscellania@gmail.com, for other ways that you can help the channel, absolutely great. But what you can do, the easiest way, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed, and tell your friends. If you like diamond painting content, then share the channel. All right, let's see what we got here. I've already shuffled, so let's find out. We have any boobies? I'm looking for boobies. No, gotcha. Look at him. Isn't he cute? They, them, I don't know. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl, but gotcha. That's the name. All right, let's see what our card has to say as our thought for the week. I'm looking for the correct number here. Here we go. Ooh, sudden shock, unexpected events, and rude awakenings are the key word. Oh boy. Let's see. Gotcha in a reading speaks to us of sudden, often violent breakdowns of existing structures, habits, patterns, and or attitudes. When we become too tightly confined by our own self-imposed limitations, including the desire for comfort and security, gotcha kindly breaks the structure restraining us, whether we think we want him to or not. On a soul level, we know this to be necessary, but in our everyday thoughts, we usually get pretty upset about it. However, breakdown can lead to breakthrough. This is liberation, and we often haven't a clue what to do with it. This is usually the beginning of a period of confusion, even disorientation, while we search for a way forward, although we may think we are simply searching for a way back to what we had before. Recommendation: do not try to pick up the pieces and put them back like they were. Consider instead what you would like to build in that part of your life, and this time, remember to leave room for growth. This is a great card after talking about burnout. No, it doesn't sound great because there's going to be some sudden breakdown of structure or whatever, but sometimes in that breakdown of structure, there's opportunity for growth. There's opportunity for just getting something more from it, a liberation from it. It doesn't have to be a breakdown. It can be a breakthrough. Very good card. Very good card after talking about burnout. All right, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for being here. I send my love out to you in the universe. I love you, whoever you are, wherever you are. You are important, and I'm glad you were born. And as ever, I hope that wherever you are in this great, big, wide, wonderful world of ours, that you are having a totally, non-burned out, energetic, even if only just for a little bit, secure, safe, and wonderful morning, evening, or afternoon, whatever time it is, wherever you are. All right, I'll see you soon, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.